You're at the park. You call your dog's name. They look at you. They lift their head. They make eye contact, and for about one full second, you are connected. And then, they turn around and go right back to whatever they were doing. That 1 second look is the part that drives people crazy, because it means they heard you. They looked right at you, and they still chose the grass. Most recall advice says the same thing. Use better treats. Be more exciting. Practice more. Run backward. Clap your hands. Make yourself fun. And fine. Some of that helps. But none of that really explains what just happened inside your dog's brain. Because in that moment, your dog didn't fail a trick. Your dog hit a limit. And once you understand that limit, recall starts to look very different. In 2010, researchers at the University of Kentucky took a group of dogs and split them into two groups. One group had to sit and stay for 10 full minutes while their owner left the room. 10 minutes, no moving, no following, no checking the door, no breaking position. That may sound simple to a human, but for a dog, that is work. That is a dog fighting every impulse in its body for 600 seconds. The second group was placed in a crate for the same amount of time. Confined, yes, but not fighting themselves. No willpower required. After that, both groups were given a puzzle toy. Normally, these dogs could open it, but this time, the researchers had secretly sealed it shut. They didn't want the dogs to solve it. They wanted to see how long they would keep trying. And the dogs, who had done the long sit-stay, quit much faster. Not because they were lazy, not because they were less intelligent, but because they had already spent their self-control on the first task. Then, the researchers repeated the setup. Same kind of dogs, same kind of task, same impossible puzzle. Except this time, the depleted dogs were given a glucose drink before the puzzle, and suddenly, they bounced back. They persisted just as long as the fresh dogs. That's the part most people miss. Self-control is not just attitude. It runs on actual fuel. So now, think about your dog's day before you ever arrive at the park. They didn't chew the couch. They didn't jump on the counter. They didn't bark at every sound in the hallway. They didn't steal the food you dropped. They didn't explode every time they wanted to. All day long, your dog has been spending little pieces of self-control. Then, you bring them to the park. Fresh grass, other dogs, squirrel scent, old pee, wind moving through the trees, 1,000 invisible messages on the ground. And right there, at the most stimulating moment of the day, you call them. You may be asking for their hardest behavior when their brain has the least fuel left. So your first fix is not about being louder. It's not about sounding happier. It's timing. Practice recall when their tank is full. Early in the walk, early in the day, before the world stacks too much excitement on top of them. And when you call them at the park, don't only call when the fun is over. Call them, reward them, then release them right back to the fun. Because every recall that leads back to freedom is a deposit. And every recall that ends the fun is a withdrawal. You need a lot more deposits than withdrawals before the word can survive a hard moment. And this is where most people make the mistake. They think recall is only about training. But training is only one layer. Because even if your dog's self-control tank were full, even if you picked the perfect moment, even if you had the best treats in your pocket, there may still be something older working against you, something your dog did not choose, something you did not teach, breed wiring. In 2022, researchers tested more than 1,000 dogs across 13 different breeds on cognitive tasks. One of those tasks measured inhibitory control. The setup was simple. A dog could see a treat behind a clear barrier. The treat was right there, visible, smellable, almost reachable. But the dog could not go straight through the barrier. To get the treat, the dog had to stop, think, and go around to the open side. Simple problem. Huge difference between breeds. Some dogs looked back at their humans when the task became hard. Some dogs paused and adjusted. Some dogs kept pushing straight at the barrier because their brain was built to act fast. And that matters more than people want to admit. Belgian Malinois and German Shepherds are incredible working dogs. Fast, alert, responsive, explosive. But that speed comes with a trade-off. A brain built to react quickly may not always be a brain built to pause easily. Meanwhile, golden retrievers and border collies were shaped for a different kind of work. They were bred to cooperate, to check in, to take direction from a human, and stay mentally connected during a task. So when things get confusing, many of them naturally look back and ask, "What now?" That does not mean they love their humans more. It means their nervous system was shaped for a different job. And then you have the dogs that make recall feel like a negotiation. Hounds, huskies, terriers, livestock guardians, dogs bred to work away from people, dogs bred to follow scent, dogs bred to make decisions without waiting for a human to approve every step. A beagle on a scent trail is not standing there thinking, "How can I disrespect my owner today?" That dog is doing exactly what generations of selective breeding prepared it to do. Its nose finds a story on the ground. And suddenly, your voice is competing with history. That is the part people underestimate. You are asking your dog to override centuries of instinct with a word it learned in your kitchen. And sometimes it can, but sometimes it needs help. So the second fix is not lowering your standards. It is changing the battlefield. If your dog is independent by design, do not test recall at the hardest level first. Use a long line in high distraction places. Practice in easier environments before you ask for miracles in a park full of scent and movement. Reward check-ins before you need them. Make returning to you feel like part of the adventure, not the end of it. And when your scent-driven dog takes 3 seconds to turn away from the ground and come back, do not only see slowness, see the effort. That pause may be your dog pushing against its own design. A long line is not giving up. It is being honest about the dog in front of you, because love does not erase wiring, and obedience is not proof of love. Sometimes, the dog who loves you deeply still has a brain that says, track the scent, chase the movement, guard the space, trust yourself. So before you call that dog stubborn, ask a better question. What was this dog built to notice before it was ever built to listen? But even breed wiring is not the deepest layer, because sometimes the problem is not your dog's energy, and sometimes it is not your dog's genetics. Sometimes the problem is the word itself. The word has history, the word has a reputation, and your dog has been keeping records. Researchers once demonstrated this in a simple but powerful way. A dog was taught 2 different recall cues. One cue had been trained with occasional leash corrections, not harsh ones, just the kind many people use without thinking much about it. The dog still came when called, but the body told the truth. Slow steps, tense muscles, lower posture, caution. The second cue was trained with positive reinforcement. The dog heard it and came back fast. Loose body, tail up, no hesitation. Then, the researchers did something clever. They used each recall cue as a reward for a completely new behavior. The dog touched a target with its nose, heard the recall word, came back, and received food. When the happy recall cue was used, the new behavior increased. The dog wanted to play the game again, but when the correction-based cue was used, the new behavior decreased. The dog began hesitating around the target itself, even though food still came at the end. That is what a poisoned cue does. It does not only make one behavior weaker, it spreads. It changes the emotional weather around everything it touches. And here is the uncomfortable part. You do not need leash corrections to poison a recall word. Every time you say come and then clip the leash on, every time come means the park is over. Every time come means bath, nail trim, car ride, crate, or back inside. You are adding another line to the record. At first, your dog may still come. Then, one day they pause. They look at you. They lower their head a little. They take the long way back. And you think they are being stubborn. But maybe they are not confused. Maybe they understand the word too well. Maybe come no longer means run to my person. Maybe it means freedom is about to disappear. That is why some dogs do not fail recall because they forgot the cue. They fail because they remember the cue's consequences. Your cue has a reputation, and your dog trusts patterns more than promises. This is where recall stops being just obedience. It becomes a relationship question. Because when a dog hears your word, it is not only hearing sound, it is predicting the future. And if the future usually means loss, even a loving dog may hesitate before walking toward it. So if the word has been damaged, the fastest solution is often not to repair it. It is to replace it. Pick a word your dog has never heard before. Not come, not the name you have already said 1,000 times in frustrated tones. Something clean. Here. Close. Back. Touch. Even a random sound can work, as long as it has no baggage. Because you are not just teaching movement. Your dog already knows how to move toward you. You are rebuilding trust in a single signal, and that signal needs to become almost sacred. For the first few weeks, do not use it when you are unsure. Do not use it when your dog is across the park chasing scent. Do not use it when they are already ignoring you. Do not use it before a bath. Do not use it before nail trimming. Do not use it when the leash is about to snap on and the whole adventure is over. If you need to end the fun, go get your dog calmly. Do not spend the new word on a bad ending. Instead, start small. Say the new cue in the house when your dog is already likely to come. Reward like it matters. Use food they love. Use movement. Use praise. Use play. Use whatever makes your dog light up. Then release them again. That last part matters because the lesson is not only come to me. The lesson is coming to me does not cost you the world. Then take it outside. Easy yard, quiet street, empty field, long line, more distance, more distraction, but always the same promise. When I say this word, something good happens. And most of the time, your freedom continues. That is how you build a recall cue with emotional gravity. Not fear, not pressure, not panic. A cue your dog wants to move toward. And when you put all of this together, the park scene starts to look different. Your dog is nose deep in the grass. You call. They lift their head. 1 second passes, maybe 2. And now, you understand what might be happening inside that pause. Maybe their self-control tank is already empty. Maybe their breed wiring is whispering, follow the scent, chase the movement, trust yourself. Maybe the old word has been quietly collecting bad memories for months. Or maybe all three are happening at once. That is why the pause is not disrespect. It is a conflict. A small brain trying to choose between instinct, history, fuel, and you. And the goal is not to win that conflict by being louder. The goal is to become easier to choose. So the next time your dog looks at you and hesitates, do not only ask, why won't you listen? Ask, what have I made this word mean? Ask, what moment am I calling them from? Ask, what was this dog built to notice? Because recall is not just a command. It is a promise that coming back to you is safe, a promise that listening does not always end the joy, a promise that your voice is not the sound of freedom disappearing. It is the sound of connection returning. So here's the question. When your dog ignores recall, which one do you think is doing the most damage? Is it depletion, breed wiring, or a poisoned cue? Drop your answer below, because once you know which one you are dealing with, you do not just train better. You understand your dog better, and that is where real recall begins.